Hey gang, I'm Kyle Cheney and this is episode 37 of the CBD Source Podcast. Happy Hemp Day. You're listening to the CBD Source Podcast, your source for all things CBD. Coming up on the show, we are going to be talking to Tommy, the motherfucking legend, Chong. You can't believe that it's actually happening, but it's happening. It's pretty amazing. I think on the first episode, we mentioned that one day we'd like to talk to him. So it actually happened, but let's not, let's bury the lead a little bit here. Let's go back and talk about getting to the convention and the setup and how Tommy was the first person we ran into when we were there. I mean, it was pretty immediate. So let's talk about first MjBizCon itself. Man, leading up to the show, they have their own app. They have daily messages about who's going to be there, what's going on, all the events. How many events did we actually hit? How many lectures during the whole convention?
Lectures.
0.
It was so big you couldn't catch any lectures.
Anytime you go to a lecture, you're out of commission for hours. So we decided just to stay on the floor and be constantly meeting people, which totally worked for us because we just ran into random celebrities all over the place. It was nuts. But let's take it back to when we first were getting on the road. So gang, let's dive right into it.
Gang, you're listening to the CBD Source Podcast.
Tuesday afternoon, we were putting together these swag bags of buttons, and it was little care packages with our business cards and everything. And we only knocked out, of the 300 we wanted to do, we maybe got 100 done, here in the studio.
Yeah.
And we had help, Cass was helping, Becca was helping, even C-Body Danny was helping. So everyone was putting together these swag bags because they knew we had to catch that flight. The flight is not going to wait for us, but those swag bags need to be done. So we went out of Stewart Airport, which is in Newburgh. We parked there, and we caught our plane. And man, American Airlines, just not comfy seats if you're over 6 foot. Man, that was a rough ride. So we took a first little puddle jumper, a small plane, from here to Philly, and then we had a little layover in Philly for a couple of hours, where we, our bags were already stowed, so we couldn't put any button kits together there. And then we caught our next flight direct to Vegas, and we showed up in Vegas at after midnight. So we were checking in pretty fucking late.
Now let's rewind. We were in Philly the first time. We decided, are you hungry? Yeah, we're hungry. What do you want?
Oh, yeah.
I'm feeling, Chinese, Thai, something, along those lines.
Right.
And we saw a place and we're like, well, why not?
In the small food court in the Philly airport. Yeah, there was one of those, I think it was Far East or something, one of those mall Chinese food places. This was a big mistake.
Horrible mistake.
I was so hungry for some Chinese or something though, so we went there, and you knew shit was going to be bad when the menu had 3 digital signage boards, and one of them was out. The middle one had a picture of chicken that was blue, it was broken and it was flickering, and the chicken
Tinted
was
blue,
completely blue. That was oh God, what are we doing? Why are we on this line? But I think I had already set myself up for the taste of Chinese, so we were stuck with it. And that was a mistake. We ate that, and it did not agree with me on the flight.
I mean, we should have known also, because we're in an airport. Everything's expensive in the airport. But the food wasn't that expensive, and they gave you a lot.
Yeah, they did pile it on. I mean, don't do it. If you're in the Philly airport, don't do it. Don't hit that Chinese place. It's not good.
They gave us a lot, but I didn't eat a lot.
No,
it was done.
Threw those noodles out. I mean, it was just a little bit of meat on top of it.
Would be a lo mein?
Oh, yeah, a giant pile of lo mein, and the lo mein was gross. Everything was gross.
So don't do it.
Yeah, that was
don't
a mistake. So sitting on an airplane, and it really made me gassy, oddly enough. And I'm just I can't be farting this plane up. I wanted to sleep because I was so beat. I'd woken up at 3 a.m. the day we were taking that flight to start getting ready, and pack up and get all the buttons and make sure we have everything. So now it's 3 a.m. the next day, and we're flying over the country, like flying over the Rockies. And I'm sitting next to this old couple who just wants to talk. Like, they just are the nicest South Carolina couple, and it turns out they like grew up, 10 miles from where I grew up. Really odd. So now they have a lot of things they want to talk about. Just like, I just need sleep. Like, there's no TVs on this plane. There's no radio. My cell phone's practically dead. It's just like, I just need to try to sleep, but there's just no way to sleep. Did you get any Z's on that flight in?
I did. The people that were next to me were quiet.
Yeah, you were on a different side. Like, we never sat together. It was always like the plane just put us in weird places. So whoever the hell we sat next to was who we sat next to.
We were in the same area, but not like we're always across.
Yeah, it was one of those jumbo jets. So it was like 3 seats in the middle, 2 on each side. So I was on one side, you were on the other. Actually, it was 3-3-3 or something like that, wasn't it? 3-4-3 or something? Because there were 3 seats with me.
Oh, I only had 2 seats with me.
Did you?
Yeah.
I had a husband and wife next to me the whole flight. They just wanted to talk about how fucked up their day had been.
Well, if it was 2-3-3, the weight of that plane was not safe.
Oh, man. So anyway, we get there, and I remember it was just like collecting our bags, and now we got to make it to our hotel, and it's either Uber or cab. We were trying to make a decision because the cabs were all lined up there. They made it really hard to find where the hell the Uber place pickup was. We got some sodas and stuff, and went and took a cab, which was a mistake because it was probably a lot more than the Uber.
Well, never ask a cab driver where the Uber pickup is, because they come to you all nice. Hi, sir, would you like to get a cab? Oh, where's the Uber pickup? On the other side.
Right,
Like,
up this
okay.
shitty staircase covered with garbage. So we walked up that staircase and then like walked over and realized like, the cabs are probably the better deal. And then I walked all the way down the stupid staircase back to the same cab guy. And that you're right, probably tainted his mouth to us. But anyway, they took us there, and like we were staying at this place called the Strat, which is like the last casino on the Strip. Technically still on the Strip, apparently. I think, right? It's still on the Strip, kind of.
It's still on the Strip. It's just on the other end of the Strip.
The ass end of the Strip. So it's the last big casino. It's it's got a awesome needle on it, or it's got an awesome, like, what do you call those things? It is a needle, sort of like it's like a replica of the Seattle Space Needle or whatever, where you have amazing vantage point of checking out Las Vegas. We never made it up to the top of that needle. We really didn't take advantage of a lot of stuff that was like amenities the hotel might have had.
I mean, we went to McDonald's.
They had a McDonald's near the check-in. Like, as far as everything that we did in Vegas, one thing we definitely did not take advantage of on this trip was the great food. Like, we didn't go to any of the nice restaurants.
No.
We actually went out of our way to to avoid the nice restaurants.
All the restaurants in the hotel, we literally walked past to go downstairs, out the front door,
Seriously.
across the street.
To this little shitty Aztec motel or whatever it was, Aztec Casino, which is a poor excuse for a casino, but it does have a big sign on the door that says like $3.99 breakfast or something like that, $4.99 breakfast.
Yeah.
And also a giant sign that says Thai. So it was like, oh man, maybe we can replace that shitty Chinese we had with some better, Asian
I think
food.
that's what was in our mind. We needed to have better Thai food, Chinese food.
Exactly. It was like we rewrote the story and it was gross, and now it's like we got to rewrite over that chapter with some better food. So I mean, like in that building, there's even on the top of the needle, there's a restaurant that you can sit and, just like in the Matrix, you can go 360 and see like the whole panorama of Las Vegas while you eat. We did not take advantage of that shit.
Nope, we didn't.
Like, we really missed out now that I think about it. But anyway, we finally found the second floor, which was the check-in, and we're waiting online to check in. And who did we run into?
Leo Bridgewater.
Leo Bridgewater, who we interviewed several episodes back. He's like a mover and shaker in this field now. He really is. He's won 2 awards since we talked to him.
Yeah, he's making moves.
Like an industry leader in the cannabis field as far as being an advocate and everything. I pulled out my recorder and I didn't have it set up right because we had just gotten off the plane, but I've got a very small clip I can play for you. It's probably sounds like it's underwater, but this is Leo Bridgewater when we first ran into him in the hallway at the check-in desk, which was, I mean, it was 1 a.m. There's still a line, a massive line to check in. So everyone's coming to Vegas for MjBizCon. And we were one of them.
Well, we're checking into the hotel, and you just came back from where? The Cannabis Business Award. And you were up for an award. Won Activist of the Year. Cannabis Activist of the Year. And who were some of your competitions? Wanda J, Seth Rogen, Rick Ross.
So yeah, Leo beat Rick Ross and Seth Rogen and all these other people for that award. Pretty amazing. And he's holding the award. It was a beautiful like snow globe with a marijuana leaf in the middle and like a placard on the front. And he was ahead of us in line. Like now that he had talked to us, he just hung out and stood right in front of us. And here comes some dude, some like completely schwacked out stoner kid with long hair and like looked like he hadn't bathed in a while. And he's not standing on this line. He just jumps right in front of Leo. Leo was not having it, man. He was like,
no, it wasn't.
Dude, you can't just do that. You know, you can't just cut this whole line. He's like, and the guy's like, what? Did I do what? Like he was so out of it.
He was on more than just marijuana.
Yeah. He went up to the desk and like they were trying to like talk to him. And then he just left the desk and went over and like sat on the floor in the other line. And then the people at the desk started freaking out. They're like, he's wearing hospital pants and Crocs, like what you wear when you're admitted to a psych ward or a hospital.
Yeah, it was creepy.
So they called someone to get him taken out of there or something because it was just too like, who is this guy? What the hell is wrong with him? But anyway, we were all like, we were really beat, but one thing I forgot to mention was a block away from this hotel while we were driving in, on the ride in, we had seen so many dispensaries, but a block away from the hotel, there was one that was still open, like a block and a half away.
Open until 3 a.m.?
Yeah. Glowing green. I got a picture in front of it where I took. So we decided to check in and head right over there after we got checked in, just so we could have provisions for the rest of the week. And you want to tell the story about? Let's tell the story about going to a dispensary for the first time in Vegas. I've been to one before, but this was your first time ever, right? So maybe you can, with fresh eyes, explain what it was like.
I mean, the building, you can't miss it. It's lit up green, lights flashing like they want you to know what's there. But when you show up, you got a security guard outside. And just to mention, everybody in there was so nice.
Yeah.
Nobody was like hostile or anything. So the security guard checks your ID before you walk in first. Then you walk into like this, I don't even know how to explain, like a hospital looking room, like a front desk receptionist. There's nothing there but a line.
Yeah, like a twisty line and then almost like a bank teller type of reception.
Yeah, there you go, bank teller thing. And then they check your ID.
Were they behind bulletproof glass?
Yeah, this one was.
Yeah, but I think there was like a little gap. Maybe they could pull it down or something, but you slide them your ID.
And they asked if we were there for the MjBizCon because we got discounts.
Yeah.
Which is great also because that helps out quite a bit.
Yeah, it's like 15% off for being an attendee. We just had to show that we had the pass. And they had deals, like whatever the weekly deal is. I think the deal was like 2 candy edibles for $30 or something, when normally it would be like $25 each or something like that.
So it was pretty good deals.
Yeah.
They would check your ID again, put you in the system, and then they would open up this one other door and you'd walk in and it's like just everything you can see, you walk in, you got from candies to smokables to dabs to shit.
They had also really high dose CBD stuff too, and CBD THC mixtures. So like you can get cannabis derived CBD at these places. I think they even had a couple products that they showed us that were industrial hemp derived, which was weird because I didn't expect it from a dispensary, but they had them.
A little bit for everybody.
Yeah. So they had, it was kind of like a line. Once you go in that door, there's like a sort of a line, but we were there pretty late, so there was really nobody on the line. So there's this long counter where there are multiple like glass enclosures where you can take a look at the bud and take a look at the different things, candies and, you know, Rice Krispie treats and all of that stuff. Like they're sectioned out for each, when this place is packed, they have different bud tenders working at each station. So the right side was for adult use recreational, and the left side was for medical. But considering nobody was there, they let us go to the medical side, which I guess is the people who work there might be a little more knowledgeable. I'm not sure. But because they're dealing with like sick people who need medicine. And just to the left of that was an ATM, because I think all transactions at dispensaries is cash only.
Cash only.
Yeah.
No paper trail.
So the bud tender that we worked with the first time that we talked to really knew her stuff. I mean, she was really educated. She was telling us about like how different terpenes add to your body high. If like some, you know, if you're having this one type of we were looking for vape first. If one type of vape has myrcene in it, then it gives you more of a body. If it has like whatever, she knew a bunch of different things about different terps and how they affect your high, which is something we don't think about because we're dealing with CBD. So like terps add to things, but they don't add to a high in our world. But it was neat to see it in like the cannabis weed side, how different terps can actually change your entire experience of how you know, flower will affect you. And that was dope to learn. Like, I would love to talk to someone who knows terps in that world too. We're going to do a terpene episode based on some of the interviews that we did during this MjBizCon where people really knew about terps. So I think maybe like in 1 or 2 weeks, we'll throw a whole episode together about terpenes and the different types and what they do. Because that's something that I just got educated on, and I thought it was really neat, really informative stuff. And the Save the Terps party bus. We'll talk about that in an episode or two when we got shanghaied by the Save the Terps hot chick party bus. That was crazy. But anyway, let's get back to it. So we ended up getting a bunch of stuff. We got edibles and we got like vape, our THC vape. And we realized like we're not doing edibles tonight because we still had hours worth of work to do putting together buttons, and that we could do like with a slightly lit, you know, like just with some vape. And we were starving at this point because all we had was the shitty Chinese food in us, right?
That's it.
And there was a 24-hour Walgreens just beyond this dispensary, so we wandered over there. And what were your munchie picks? What did you get?
I got Fig Newtons.
Random.
Milano cookies, milk chocolate Milano cookies.
Uh-huh.
A Pepsi.
I had the weirdest munchie cravings when I was there because we just walked out of the dispensary and just like vaped because we could. Like it's a weed town, man. It is nuts. Like that town is great. So we walked out and just like between getting from the dispensary to the Walgreens, we got pretty baked and walked in, and I was like, all right, in my stoner brain, I'm doing all these equations. Like I love those Tahoes with the macadamia and the white chocolate. And I'm like, that will taste so good right now. And then I looked over and I saw Ritz Bits with cheese. And I remember in high school, like chocolate and cheese, I took a French class and they did a whole chocolate and cheese day. And I'm like, that would be delicious right now. Like that would be so fucking dope. So I took a risk and went with the Ritz Bits and the Tahoes, and the combination did not disappoint, man. It was so good. I was eating handfuls of that stuff, and it's like, you know, we're on vacation, so like I don't know about you, but I've been like gearing up for this for weeks, you know, like ever since we heard about it. So I was psyched to be able to eat a little bad and you know, because the amount of calories we're going to be burning on that floor anyway.
Oh yeah,
The amount of like steps if you had a Fitbit on was nuts. So I know this is all kind of like leading up to us meeting Tommy Chong. Let's take a quick break and we'll get right back to this, and then you'll find out how we ran into Tommy Chong day one of MjBizCon.
Do you like or want to try quality, third-party tested CBD? Do you live in the New York, Pennsylvania area? We got you covered, gang. We're growing more each month, so check in with CBDSourceCenter.com to find our addresses and new store locations. While you're there, sign up for our mailing list. We're adding new stores across New York and Pennsylvania all the time. We may soon be expanding to a town near you.
The CBD Source Podcast.
All right, so after a night of munchies, and putting together hundreds of more swag bags, we met up downstairs. I think we gambled for like 2 seconds or something, just waiting for each other to hook up in the front. And we got all these swag bags, and we have like all these bags of gear. We've got all the recording equipment. I've got all the mic stuff. You've got all the camera stuff. And we take an Uber. We didn't know where the Uber, like this is stuff when you don't come to Vegas often and you like don't use Ubers. Like we had no clue that you had to pick up an Uber at a different entrance or anything like that. Like they built this whole front section and Uber's allowed to drop off there but not pick up because they dropped us off there. So we figured like, hey, they dropped us off. That's where nope, wrong. Got to walk around the total back of the building. Yep. So, yeah, we went around the whole back of the building, and this is when I realized, man, our legs are going to be fucking killing us at the end of this, because just this little bit of walking we're doing with this heavy gear we have, it was like, okay, this is the beginning. This is going to be a long-ass week. So we picked up the Uber, took us over, and we got there just before it was starting. Just like we went, found the press check-in, checked in, and just as we came out of there with the badges, this like giant clock was ticking, like counting down a minute, that like the last minute before this giant MjBizCon 2019 was about to open. And I have a little of the recording of that, of our excitement as it was opening up. I think I blew the mic out a little bit because I was so excited. Listen to this.
Recording right now just because it's recording? All right.
Hello. All right, here it goes. Oh shit, MjBizCon open for business 2019. Let's roll in. We just got set up. Perfect timing. Everyone's gonna start pushing in there. Let's go check it out. Skin of our teeth. All right, gang, we just crossed the threshold. We are in MjBizCon 2019. Where to start? This place is gigantic. I don't know if you can zoom all the way down there, Rye, but holy shit, this place is massive. Everyone's coming in, so we're blocking traffic. Let's try to, do we start at the right, start at the left? Work our way around? Like, we're gonna have to keep a map or something because this place is so huge. Like, if we pass someone want to come back, we won't even know where the fuck they are. So, MjBizCon 2019, we just walked in. Everyone's pouring in the gates. I guess the first couple of days were all industry exclusive, and now this is more open. I would say to the general public, but tickets to this event are $899, I think. So it's more of an elite general public. It's the public that has money and is looking to buy it probably in bulk or like very specific things, or they're looking to create their own product and they want to see what's in the market and what kind of packaging and things like that is available, what type of lights they would need to grow their own hemp. So hemp or cannabis. So let's check it out. We're heading to the far left side, I guess. We're gonna kind of like do a tertiary look over first couple of rows and see what we're dealing with here, because this is a lot to take in. Holy crap. This place is gigantic. Can you hear it okay? You can hear it? I wonder what it feels like. Well, I know what it feels like to be one of these vendors. How's it going? Especially when you've been like waiting, setting this booth up. Look at some of these booths, man. Like, this is really intricate stuff. They're like 2-floor tall, 3-floor tall booths. things stacked up 20, 30 feet. And then they finally opened the floodgates and let everybody in. And now it's like the sales are on. It's time to sell. Let's try to engage and get people interested here. What?
Somebody just said Chong. He's in Chong. It's really him.
Where? Tommy Chong is right over there filming. See all the lights? That's Tommy. Holy shit. Let's get around here and get a good shot from the front. Come this way. Oh my God, we're not even in the door 5 minutes and Tommy Chong is right over here. Do it, jump on it. Get it? Hold steady as hell. The man, the myth, the legend, Tommy Chong right here. He's explaining how these, I guess it's a separation. Can that take pictures too, or no? No? That is crazy. Like, we're seriously not even 5 minutes into this practically, and Tommy Chong. What do you know what slot we have to open in Podcast Row? So we got in the doors, we busted in, we got some footage of everyone busting in, everyone was like rushing, and there were so many people there, like thousands and thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people probably.
Oh yeah.
Just pouring in, and the convention center itself, it's hard to put into words how big this place is.
You have to go to see it, dude. You can't explain it.
Like, I've been to Champs and stuff, and this was like, it just seemed mammothly bigger than Champs. It was so gigantic. And when we got in there, we're like, all right, let's come up with a game plan, because how the hell are we going to hit all of this? Like, what do we do first? So we just, I think it's the way I do supermarkets. It's like start at the left, work your way all the way, zigzag back and forth all the way till you come to the other side, and then you've seen everything. So no sooner than we started this like plan, we're walking to the left. We're just cutting across the front of the first aisles. And did you hear someone say Tommy Chong, or what happened?
Well, we both had our headsets on so we can hear each other. We're walking. And then just faintly, I hear someone say, "Hey, that's Tommy Chong." And I stopped. And usually I don't hear shit.
Right.
I stopped and I grabbed Cole and I was like, "Hey, that guy just said Tommy Chong." And we just kind of looked at each other. I didn't really process what we just heard for a second. Then we turned around and there you have it. We see the back of Tommy Chong's head. At first, we thought maybe it was just an old guy. We don't know, whatever. So let's just take a look.
Right. There wasn't a huge crowd. I mean, there were some people watching.
Because it just opened.
Yeah, it just opened.
Yet there he was.
Yep.
The man, the myth, the legend.
It was insane because, like, no joke. All right, so when we first interviewed Anthony Sullivan, that Monday we went down to see Anthony Sullivan in Hoboken. That weekend, Tommy Chong and Cheech and Chong together as a comedy act were playing this theater in Long Island called the Paramount. And a couple of years ago, I was creative director for a team that designed the app for the Paramount. So I knew the guy who owns it. I'd met him there before, and I tried to pull strings last minute. I didn't find out about that they were playing that venue until like the day before. So it kind of sucked, and it was last minute. I was like, dude, I'm bringing my equipment home just in case we need to run out to Long Island and record these guys this weekend. And I had sent a letter to the owner, and he got back to me like the day, like when we were in Hoboken, like the day after they had already played the venue, and he was like, "Oh, dude, it's too bad. Like, that got to me too late. Like they'd already done the show, and I gave that information to their publicist, but so maybe next time they're in town." So anyway, I was psyched from like we thought maybe we would have somehow gotten them early on, like a couple months ago, which would have been insane, but it didn't happen. So we've still got that on the back burner. Like next time they come to Long Island, we can probably interview them there at the Paramount, which is a giant, beautiful theater. So anyway, we're waiting out, or we're checking out this booth, summit-research.tech, Summit Research Labs. So it's basically a conglomerate of a bunch of different massive pieces of lab equipment in this one footprint of a space. It was sort of like, I guess it would take up 4 or 5 booths worth of space, like a whole chunk. And Tommy was there shooting a commercial for them, and so while we're waiting, while he's filming, and we're talking to other people just randomly that are also waiting to meet him or get a picture or something, I talked to a couple people who work at Summit Research, and let's listen to them talk about what their products are and what they exactly do. Is this the line right here? Do you work for the booth? Do you work for this booth?
Yeah, so we're all at this booth.
What do you guys do?
So I'm from Aerometrics. We're the fraction finder guys. We make the quality monitoring equipment that you put on this distillation system.
So how did you guys get Tommy Chong to represent you here?
We reached out, and he was excited to come. He's a big fan of all this equipment over here, so it wasn't too hard.
Awesome. Yeah, we can't wait to meet him. There's a line forming now. We just saw you guys filming a commercial here. What's the name of this company?
So this is Summit Research, and Summit Research has all the lab equipment that you see over here for everything from short path distillation, which distills the cannabis crude oil into really nice distillate, and to chromatography, which isolates it.
Very cool. And is Tommy part of this somehow, or?
Yeah, so Tommy's a part of it. He's going to be here pretty much the whole day, hanging out, talking to fans, talking about some Summit short path equipment.
Awesome. Is there a good time to come back where it's probably just going to get more and more swamped, really, you know?
Probably. This is probably the least amount of crowd you'll get.
Good. We're sticking around then. We're sticking around. Awesome. Nice meeting you, man. Thanks for telling us about it. Cool. Here's another interview. Again, we were just killing time trying to wait, and also curious about what all these pieces of lab equipment do and what kind of things this Summit Research creates. So here's another interview. The convention just opened. We walked in. Tommy Chong's at your booth. What's happening?
It's amazing. So we've been here for since about 8:30, and it's better than a lot of conventions. Even by 8:30, and the thing doesn't even start at 10 a.m. This thing's just absolutely awesome.
Very cool. What's your name, by the way?
My name is Tim Collins. I'm with the Digivac company, and we make vacuum controllers. So we're part of Summit's team to bring distillation, make it really easy for everybody to actually do and do it well.
Cool. So Summit Research is like the parent company or something, and you have all these little subsidiary parts that make like every part of the distillation process. You can get it all. It's like a one-stop shop here.
That's right. Pretty much right after extraction, they can take you through the whole thing. And they do a really nice job, and all of us work together as partners to do a really great job for the customer so they can make really clean, pure distillate. Cool.
What's your part? You were explaining it a little bit. Go into a little more detail what your part of it is.
Sure. I do the blinky stuff. So anything that blinks, I do. So the blinky stuff is valve controllers, vacuum controllers. We actually work with the Aerometrics extraction finder as well. And these are all tools that help you dial in that process.
Okay. So what do the blinks tell people? Like time to switch things, or?
Yeah, the fraction finder specifically, that's exactly what it does.
Oh, okay.
There's this notion of heads, bodies, and tails, right? And so the fraction finder will literally tell you when it's time to switch your flasks. Heads are like the terps.
Okay.
Kind of want to get rid of them. The bodies, that's the gold. That's what people really love to see. That like gold, gooey stuff. The clearer, the better.
Mm-hmm.
And the fraction finder tells you that. And then the tails, that's like the leftovers that we kind of end up reprocessing or throwing away. So yeah. This stuff literally tells you that.
That's really cool. I didn't know those 3 parts. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
What do you do with the terps? Do you isolate them and put them back in sometime?
Some people isolate them. With some of Summit's newer stuff, you can isolate them. Some people just throw them away. When you're doing distillate, terps are often considered sort of a byproduct.
Oh, okay.
Which is crazy because they're yummy, right?
Yeah. Sell them to a secondary market.
Yeah. There's an opportunity.
Right, yeah,
You're an
exactly.
entrepreneur. I can see that.
All right, there you go. Well, it was nice meeting you. Thanks for talking to us.
Likewise, Cole.
Like,
Cool.
we haven't even got to look at one booth. We just like walked on, saw this, and was like, okay, we're stopping. This is it.
Totally. That's
Stop
awesome.
this in our tracks. Very cool. Nice meeting you, man.
Fellow East Coaster.
Yeah, exactly. So finally, we're getting close, and we have this rig that we were trying out for the first time of a shotgun mic on the Zoom H6 on top of the camera. It was all mounted together, and for some reason, it had worked earlier, but now I wasn't hearing audio on it. It wasn't like patching all the way through to our earphones. So I was like, this is not going to work. We got to strip it down. I'll carry the audio. You carry the video on this. And also it was draining the battery of the camera.
The battery like nuts.
Yeah, the camera battery had gone from like 100 to 60 something in like
66 just kept dropping.
Yeah, we weren't even there. Like, how long did we wait? Like an hour? Not even.
Maybe half hour, 45 minutes the most.
And this is one of those things where it's like the absolute first thing we've done since we've come in the door. Now we're waiting. Like, we're not meeting anyone. We're not seeing the show. We're not taking in any of the sites or like figuring out who's there or anything. Like, we haven't done any kind of cursory look over because we're honed in on Tommy Chong.
That was it. I would have stayed there the whole 3 days. I don't care.
We were saying to each other, like, if we get this interview or we talk to him, actually get to talk to him, like, mission accomplished on this whole trip.
We're done. Thank you for being loyal fans. And yeah,
we can go home. Really. I mean, this is all this is like one of the biggest guests that we've ever wanted on the show. So we were so psyched. So we waited, and, you know, I talked to a bunch of other people, and, you know, this is when we started to also realize that our show shirts and our clothes were attracting attention because, you know, everyone at a trade show wants to be talked to by the press. Like, that's one of the big things. You want to get your stuff out there beyond the show. You know, because like at the show, you're talking to people face to face, but press will take your story and then amplify it to many, many, many more people that aren't at the show. So like they want to talk to press, you know, like we're in high demand. So people kept coming up and just wanting to talk to us and ask us questions and stuff. And that was sort of like a precursor to how the rest of the show would go, where we would be just getting approached nonstop, which was such a fun experience.
Yeah, but the left to right process that we thought was going to work didn't work very well. The whole day was over with, and we only made it to the second, third
that's
row.
True. We got through half the day, and we had seriously done 2 lanes of 100 and something lanes probably. So it was like we need a team to be able to knock out actual interviews with this whole place. It's impossible to do it by ourselves. So anyway, back to Tommy. So we're waiting online, and they're a little like edgy about us doing this interview because like they want to make sure we talk about their brand and stuff because that's what he's getting paid for. I mean, that's why he's in this booth, to take pictures and help advertise their brand, I would imagine. So I'm just telling them, like, how about we'll do 30? He's like, you got 1 minute. I'm like, we'll do 30 seconds about your brand, and then we'll talk to him, you know, about our podcast. So here's what we said we'd do with the minute.
Make sure you mention the booth.
Yeah, Summit Research. You think we can get him to talk on camera for a sec?
It's not up to me.
Do you guys mind if we get him to talk on mic a little bit about your, like, how he's involved with this and stuff?
Let me check.
So finally we talked to a producer or something who's like ready to go, and you can hear our whole interaction here. Let's just play. I want to play this audio clean, and then I'll jump in. All right. So Tommy at this point is sitting on a couch, and they're like, "Go for it." And you were filming and standing up, I guess, and then I just jumped down next to him, and I asked him. You know, we had our crazy show mics that have like this big like tie-dye green color thing on it as a windscreen, and you know, hand him one. Let's just play the whole thing through once. Tommy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Do you mind holding this? Awesome. Called Cheney CBD Source Podcast.
Is this a sex toy?
I wish. No.
Well, it can be.
So nice to meet you, man. We were actually going to meet you We were going to go to the Paramount and see you and Cheech. But
we had to cancel?
Did you cancel? Or we heard about it too late, so we didn't make it.
Oh, at Paramount where?
It's in Long Island, Huntington, Long Island.
Oh, Huntington.
Yeah.
Oh, you're from Long Island.
We're from New York, not Long Island. But can you tell us a little bit about Summit Research? And what
this
you do?
place?
Yeah, this.
It's a hotbed of scientists.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
They're mad scientists, and they're concocting. They're doing magic. They're taking weed and turning it into liquid.
Awesome.
That
do you have the Weed Man van? We have a segment in our show called the Weed Man van, where we have people tell us the story of the first time they ever met the Weed Man. It's sort of inspired by you guys and your Weed Man.
I bet, yeah. This is.
Can you tell us the first time you smoked weed? The first time you were in a van smoking weed?
First time I'm in a van smoking weed. Yeah, let me see. I guess that was with Cheech when we did the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it real weed or was it hemp?
It was always real weed.
Awesome.
And sometimes they would do some kind of Indian mixture, a blend. It tasted okay. You know? And if you got a good imagination, you get high on anything.
Did you get fucked up on camera?
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
Of course. That's the only reason we have any kind of movie.
Exactly. And that's why you're legendary.
I love this.
You mind taking a picture with us with the Weed Man van? Awesome.
Can you just take a picture with hop in here, Ron?
This is my cameraman, and he's also our CBD chef. We do a lot of stuff with CBD on our show.
Oh, you
Can
do?
you hold that? Yeah. Hold this. Awesome. Right here. Everyone look.
I'll make it. I'll make this.
There he is.
Smile. Yeah. Tommy Chong, the man. Thank you so much, man. Next.
One more time.
The van?
There you go. Logos it. Awesome. Yes. The best.
There it is.
Ryan, film, man. Tommy, you rock, man. Thank you so much. We've been waiting to meet you since day one. You're like one of our icons, like one of the best.
Thank you.
So cool. Thank you so much, man.
All done?
Yeah. Here we go. Next up.
Thank you for coming.
Next time you come to the Paramount,
Visit Summit Research for all of our wonderful things that we do and stuff.
Let me give you our card and stuff.
No, we got it.
I gave you a couple jabbers, too.
We made sure, yeah.
Mystic Timbers.
All right.
Enjoy, Tommy. Is that a sex toy?
Sex toy.
Yeah, that caught me off guard. I'm like, So you notice at a point there, he didn't really want to talk about the company too much. When it's not specifically your brand and you're just getting paid for it, you're a human being, and this guy's got a whole career of stuff that he can talk about, and like you're gonna dwell on this one brand that you're doing a promo for that minute.
Right. No, it could be nothing.
Right. It could just be like a quick paycheck at the beginning of the day. Like, so yeah, we wanted to talk to him about some of his life a little bit. I mean, we had such little time to try to push any interview. So I first told him, like, as you just heard, gave him a little synopsis about not being able to see him at the Paramount. Hopefully that'll stick in his mind for next time they play the Paramount, or his PR people will hear it. I'm going to send this audio to the guys at the Paramount and be like, dude, look at this plug we just did for you guys.
Right.
Talked to Tommy the man and told him about it. But yeah, and then I was like, hey, right, you got the Weed Man van? Because seriously, our whole Weed Man van gimmick is kind of like, it's the legend of the Weed Man van is a Tommy and Cheech kind of invention in a way.
Yeah.
With like Up in Smoke, when they drive the van that's made out of weed and like it catches fire and they get completely baked and all that stuff. So I asked Tommy, this is like the ultimate goal of the Weed Man van, was to talk to the Weed Man himself, Tommy Chong, about his experiences in a Weed Man van. And he told us.
It was great. We don't have to do any more Weed Man van stories either. Like, we're done.
But we actually do want your Weed Man van stories, and just all you have to do is give us a call, 1-833-CBD Gang. That's 1-833-223-4264, and you have 3 minutes to leave your Weed Man van story. you just heard Tommy give one. It was a great story.
Yeah, what makes you any better? Like,
are you less of a weed man than Tommy Chong, or are you on the level?
How would it feel for you to say that you followed through after Tommy Chong?
Yeah, you'll be in very good company with your weed man van stories. We want, like, because these weed man van stories are dying out. Like, people can just go to a dispensary. It's all professional. It's very clinical, and like the people know their shit, and you're able to actually buy things in a happy, very cool environment, very clean and sterile. But back in the day, that wasn't the case. So people have some stories.
Like now, like you just said, it's nice and professional and, you know, clean. But we want to hear, like, you're sitting in a van with some random guy and you're like, what is this stuff? I don't know, dude. And you're like, well, what is it going to do to me? Get you high. And then it just goes down from there. We want to know these things.
Yeah, we want to hear your actual stories of, like, that you were at, you know, a Grateful Dead show or something the first time you tried weed and someone had brought you back to the back of the van, and you know, your first smoking up stories in a van. There's so many good stories out there, and everyone who's got these stories are getting old. You know, we're not getting any younger, and we want to archive these stories. We want to make this, you know, this is like history of the cannabis world and the illegal cannabis world switching over to legal. So while these stories still exist, while there are still characters out there that have these stories in their brains, we want you to call in. We want to unlock these stories and share them to the world, because it's kind of crazy. Like, this whole thing is going away now that it's legal in so many states, and the dispensaries are just so nice. It's like these stories are going to vanish. So I'm glad there are guys like Tommy Chong who still have cool stories. And I'm glad we got one of our white whales. You know, like, this is one of the main guys that we had been hoping from the very beginning to get. Like, he is never he's never wavered on his, like, he didn't have a period where he was not doing weed. You know what I mean? Like, he's always been Tommy Chong. He wasn't like when Cheech had that time when he was on, like, a police show or something. Like, he didn't break away from it. Even when he was on that 70s show, Tommy was like the stoner guy.
Interesting enough, I was reading up on him today. He actually quit smoking weed for 3 years.
Did he?
3 years.
Well, he went to prison too.
And then he got diagnosed with cancer, and the medicine wasn't working until he went back to smoking.
Wow. So
it's on his wiki page and everything, and he talks about it too. So it's kind of interesting. Like, what?
That is cool. Yeah, he also, I remember his son and him had some business together. Like, they were making Tommy Chong bongs and stuff. They had a whole brand, and they were one of the companies that got, like, raided by the feds.
Yeah, and their DVDs were taken from a documentary they were making.
What the? It's so crazy.
You know, that wasn't that long ago, 2008.
Right. Yeah, I remember when that went down. It was like, you're really gonna arrest Tommy Chong? Come on, this is crazy.
Something to bitch about.
Yeah, it's crazy. It wasn't like, try to make a
career to themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Just to be able to say they did it or something. So on the levels of coolness and as far as stoner milestones go, I think this is our top so far, right? I mean, like, you don't get bigger than, there are very few as big as Tommy Chong as far as meeting and having on the show. I would love to have him back, and eventually, you know, if we could do a Tommy and Cheech episode together, that would be insane.
Oh, that'd be nuts.
But I would love to do a solely Tommy episode sometime soon, hopefully, because he's fucking hilarious. Just the little time that we had with him, he's funny, you know.
Oh, yeah, he's very funny.
I mean, he does comedy too, like stand up. For, you know, like, it's one of his gigs.
Yep.
So, like, I would love to have him back on, like, for a full show, because this is, like, you don't get hired. You don't get literally hired than that. And I would love to smoke with him.
That's the ultimate goal.
Isn't that the ultimate? Like seriously, that's the ultimate goal. Even if it was just smoking hemp flower, it's still, like, on par with, you know, and that really ties into the show too, with the CBD Source Podcast. But we did get to talk to him and hang with him and chill with him and, you know, sit down with him after we did that little interview. You jumped on the couch too. We got a bunch of pictures. We took a bunch of quick shots with him, and And he posed with the Weedman van by himself. Like, he took that Weedman van, he was like holding it up. He said, it's so awesome or something. And then he started like looking through the windows and he started making the sounds.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, when we first got to the couch and the guy was like, you got a minute 30 max, you know, then you got to get the fuck off the couch is what his exact words.
I think we might have that in the audio.
And we're like, okay, whatever. But afterwards, when we pulled up the weed man, we were ready to go. We were like, all right, here's our minute and 30. And he was like, Tommy, take a picture with it. No, take another picture with it. Take another picture with it.
Yeah, the guy himself, the guy who worked at the booth started taking pictures for us. And Tommy started making the sounds of what the van would sound like. He started doing he started doing the engine sounds. I loved it. That was so cool. Like, maybe we can throw his audio into like when we do the promos for the Weedman van with Tommy actually, doing the sound of the van moving. That's pretty fucking dope. Like, he did the audio version of what the van would sound like. So, gang, I hope you enjoyed this little trip into the into Tommy's world. I mean, like, wow, that was insane for us. And maybe like a little of, let's play a little of the audio right after, because I want you to hear the excitement in our voice and how blown away we were by the experience. Like, seriously, the one thing that was happening during the interview, and it freaked me out, was we both had mics, and like after this I started taping the mics to the H6 because like one of the mics the one that he was holding, I think it got a little loose and like his volume went way down, and he wasn't holding it like close to his mouth like I was anyway. So I started putting my mic right in front of his mouth when he talked, because I was like, I gotta get this audio. Like, we cannot lose this audio. You know, it's precious audio. Like, traveled 1,000 miles to get this audio. And right afterwards, we were so psyched and we were talking about it. We went over, we like continued walking to the left, and we found this VIP chill out area. And since we're pressed, we got right into it and instantly like pulled everything apart and started trying to listen back and make sure that we got that audio. Like, are we gonna have to fucking stand on this line again and try to get more audio from him? Because if that didn't come out, that would have been disastrous. Oh my God. So sweating that, listened to it back, and it sounded good. So, whew, I'm so psyched about how we pulled that off right away. That was like, once we had that, our self-confidence was like through the roof, and we just like started talking to everybody. So very cool. We maintained too. We didn't smoke up or anything before the show. We just didn't straight nothing. We were like, oh, we're gonna get CBD out the ass at this thing, so might as well just CBD all day. And you want to tell?
That was not the case.
Yeah, like compared to CBD IO or Champs, where there's CBD at every booth practically. Every booth that has CBD has tons of free samples. They want you to try their CBD. This place had some kind of weird rule on that, where they couldn't actually give away medicated samples of anything, CBD or THC.
So you'd have things, you know, candies and stuff, and you're like, okay, that just looks like a regular dum-dum. And come to know, it was a regular dum-dum.
Yeah, it's just they had unmedicated versions of all their gummies, all whatever it was. It's just like, so am I just going to be eating candy all day? Is that what's happening here?
Like, I'm just supposed to be getting better with CBD, and then I'm walking out with diabetes.
And for the ticket price, this is the most expensive trick-or-treating anybody's ever done in their life. Like, we got in free for press passes, but the day of the show, what was the price tag? Like, when we first, before we knew for sure if we had press passes, I bought tickets because I was like, we have to get into this thing. And like, it was the last day of some sales, so I think I got a ticket for $2.99, and then 15 minutes later it went up to like $3.99 or something like that.
Right.
$399 per person.
Per.
But we got refunded on that, thankfully. Thank you guys at MjBizCon for the press passes. But when we were there, like at the door, what was the ticket price?
At the door, which would just been expo only, was $899 a ticket.
Ooh, wow. So these were big players that were coming there to check out this stuff.
And to do the both expo and conference, it was like $11.99 or something like that.
Wow.
At the door.
Wow. It would have been a waste for us too, because we didn't even hit those conferences.
With no free CBD.
You would have a goodie bag of candy, but and lots of brochures and business cards, but yeah, you would have not been medicated at all. No CBD, no THC. So that must have been disappointing for a lot of people. I wonder what the feedback is on that. I wonder if this is a new thing or if they've done that every year. don't know the answer to that because this was our first time visiting it.
CBDGang.com, the official subreddit for fans of the CBD Source Podcast. Questions, answers, CBD gangsters, and karma. That sweet karma.
Hi, Anthony Sullivan here for the CBD Source Podcast. You've heard the rest, now listen to the best.
Gang's all here. The CBD Gang. Give the show a call at 1-833-223-4264. That's 1-833-CBD-GANG.
So, gang, that's the story of meeting Tommy Chong for the first time. What a crazy first hour of MjBizCon. I mean, we're just getting into it. We were there for 3 days. We've got a lot to unpack, a lot to break down. We met so many people. We met multiple professional former athletes, lots of big names. We rented a podcast booth for 90 minutes and interviewed 4 huge guests. We're going to get to all of that in the coming weeks. I think we're taking a week off for Christmas because I don't want to be editing and stuff during Christmas break. You know, like, I want everybody to be able to enjoy their Christmas. We don't have anything like set up as far as a Christmas episode or anything like that. Maybe next year.
I mean, we were at MjBizCon exactly a week today. We walked through the doors.
Yeah, so it was that was a ton of work. Like, I'm still jet lagged big time. Are you?
I'm still yawning.
Yeah, like, we're coming in here, getting here at like 8:39, and it's really 3 hours behind because I'm used to that, you know?
I get home.
It should be 5:30. Like, it's 5:30 Vegas time, and we're coming in here to like start recording and editing. Yeah, I'm pretty beat. So I don't know if I can throw together 2 episodes in this week. I'm thinking we put this Tommy Chong episode out. Say hi to everybody who met us at the show. Like, we collected so many business cards. We shook so many hands, met so many people, had such a great time. Like, it was a really, really fun event, and everybody was there. So, like, coming up in the next couple weeks, we've got near miss with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that was pretty close.
Closest we've ever come.
Close.
Like,
I could have bit his ear. I'm so close.
Easily. And a whole lot more. A whole bunch of other guests. We went to the award show. We went to the after party. I think one thing we will throw up today, possibly. So at the after party, do you want to tell this story as a little bonus? So we went to this. They had the first ever MjBizCon or MjBiz Daily Awards ceremony. So they were giving out awards for different parts of the industry, and afterwards, we'll get into that whole thing, you know, in a future episode. But afterwards, there was this awesome gala, like this cocktail hour, 3-hour gala of networking and fun. And we weren't allowed to film or record audio at either of these events, so we decided to make the best of it. I mean, we met a ton of people, and we hung out with Anthony Sullivan and his whole crew. And we'll get into that, but you know, next time or something. But you want to tell a little bit about our experiment?
So once you walk in, it's a huge, beautiful, beautiful room. You know, we were amazed at what it even looked like. It was just great. But then every corner of the walls had a photo booth. So if you put photo booth plus edibles equals an amazing time. Yeah. And we have the proof.
Exactly. It's like photo booth. I think this is what we'll title the blog post about it, because this could go viral. Photo booth plus Vegas plus edibles equals cannabis experiment or something. Because we were just trying to figure out, like, here's the experiment. Let's hit every photo booth. Like, we took the edibles. They hadn't kicked in yet. We got, you know, their top shelf bars, beautiful, like, bars all over this place, and open bars with top shelf liquor. Yeah. So we got our booths, and we're like, all right, let's hit all of these photo booths. And they're robotic photo booths, so there's not even a person working them. Like, you are the one who activates the screen. You're the one who picks what things on the table you want to wear or hold or whatever. And then you wait, and then it counts down 3, 2, 1, takes the picture, and then it gives a second, and then it shows you the picture. And then you can print the picture right there and have it emailed to you. So that's what we ended up doing. So we decided here's the experiment we're going to do with these photo booths. We're going to hit every photo booth sober, and then set an alarm for an hour and a half. Take a shitload of edibles, and come back and hit the photo booths again and see the difference, like what the difference is going from sober to edibles. Which, have you ever done edibles in public?
Not in public.
Me neither. I don't think I have. So like, this is a crowd of like thousands of people, all big industry people, lots of people who won awards, and we're networking our asses off and having a great time. Everyone's stoned, mind you. Everyone is stoned pretty much. Like, let's say 95% of the people there are drunk or stoned or both.
But do you realize though, at these kind of things, usually if it's just alcohol related, there's always a fight, there's an argument. Here, everybody got along.
Yeah.
Everybody was friendly. Everybody wanted to talk.
Everyone was having a great time.
So if you guys want to see the pictures on how we went from sober to having some random chick in our pictures, you need to check it out.
Yeah, we ended up getting a hangers on, and she ended up traveling with us, and we'll eventually have her on the show too. She's really cool. She'll make a cool guest. But I would check it out. Go to our website, cbdsourcepodcast.com, and there's a blog section there, and it'll be like one of the first things in the blog section, this experiment. And you'll see, like, we went from 0 to lit in an hour and 30 minutes. It is crazy. Like, the second half of the photos, I think we took like 4 photos in the beginning, and then we took like 20 photos afterwards. We just kept hitting booths and going nuts with it.
We didn't even take advantage of the food again. What the hell's wrong with us?
I think I had like a little mousse or something, like a little sorbet type of thing.
Yeah.
With like they were all, beautiful little tiny serving sizes. They had the what was that cake that you really like? Tiramisu,
that was actually banging.
You tried it?
Yeah.
So we did have some things there, but mostly it was just walking around having the fucking funnest time ever. Like, every time the screen would like focus in and you'd see the picture that just got taken, we laughed our fucking asses off because we were posing in such funny shot. Like, we were creating such funny poses that it was hilarious, and we were on edible, so everything was a little bit more funny. And especially when that girl joined us, it just became so funny. And then after that, we wandered around and went to other like crazy parties and stuff. Like, there was stuff going on all weekend. Like, Rick Ross was in town.
Wiz Khalifa was in town.
Snoop was in town. Yeah, Snoop, Mike Tyson. Like, so many people were in town because there were multiple cannabis events happening at the same time. So, gang, we'll be back right after the holidays. I think we'll be back right in the new year, starting fresh with great new content from MjBizCon. I mean, you're going to be hearing some major league guests here, like some big time guests. And also, we met so many people that are going to be guests in future episodes that we'll be setting up interviews with over the coming weeks and months. We've got some awesome other guests that are totally unrelated lined up. So, man, this show is just growing leaps and bounds, and things like this, like events like this, that just where you meet everybody in like 3 days. Like, man, we really, I don't even know how to explain it. We really kind of like, you could see our presence growing really, like, just by being there, just by people seeing our logos. And we'd walk down the hall, even in the airport, people were like, CBD Source, like, people were really wanting to know about us and wanting to know what the hell we do. The guy that sat next to you on the flight.
Oh yeah.
Tell that story.
Coming home, one of the guys, he had to switch his seat, so he ended up sitting by me because the guy that was originally supposed to be there didn't show. So he's in there, he was asking me about the podcast, and I'm educating him on it. And he was actually at the BizCon show, MjBizCon show. And when I told him about the podcast, he was like, oh, okay. So like, I look over and he's subscribing to it, and then he puts on his headphones and he plays it from episode 1 the whole way there.
He just kept listening
from Vegas to Philly. And he told me at the end, he goes, yeah, man, I listened to your podcast from when we started talking to now. And I was like, wow, look at that. We got a fan. Like, it's pretty dope.
He added us on Reddit and everything. If you're not following us on Reddit yet, it's thecbdgang.com. We'll take you right there. Or if you're already on Reddit, r/CBDgang. And Cass moderates the message board, so we're always posting new stuff there too. Man, it was just a great time. I'm so thankful to MjBizCon for the awesome event and putting together such an amazing group of different vendors and people that were just out there wandering and wanting to talk. The press booth was awesome. The VIP booth was awesome. We had a great time, and we're going to get into that more. There's so much to talk about. We can't fit it all into one episode. I think we're just going the Tommy Chong story and a couple other things here because, otherwise we have 3 days worth of content, of actual stories and adventures. So we're gonna break it up over the next several episodes. I think we're gonna skip Christmas, and then right when we come back after New Year's, we'll be throwing out a couple, maybe 2 episodes at once or something, just to get a little bit more caught up. So look forward to that. Gang, Rye, thanks for coming in and reminiscing about what we just did. Such a fun week and exhausting week. I mean, did we get any sleep? We got very little sleep the whole time. I mean, come back from a party and then you have to rest for a couple hours, get up and instantly shoot back over to the convention for more, snopping around with 50 pounds of swag and gear on us. It felt like we were in the army or something. It was kind of crazy how much we were lugging, but and I'm still recovering. My whole body's still kind of sore and tired, and especially without the sleep and the sleep difference, the time difference between here and Vegas. Just getting back into the swing of things. Stay tuned because we've got so much more content. If we're not putting out episodes, we will be putting out video content on Instagram. We will be putting out photos on Instagram over the next couple weeks, the whole time that we're not on the air. We've got so many pictures from the show. It was crazy. I mean, it was such a blast. I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to do more shows because it's just so fun, gang, going out there, meeting you guys and gals, and learning from you and tapping into some of your knowledge and having you on the show. It's great to be able to take it back. It feels like we feel like adventurers going out, finding knowledge, in the wild, and then spreading it to everyone who listens. So it's really great. It's really great. It feels like we're archaeologists for information, like Indiana Jones of CBD. So anyway, thank you so much, gang. We'll CBD you in the new year. What day did we say would be good? Did you just sometime in the new year, sometime in the first week of the new year, maybe right after New Year's, 2 days after New Year's, something like that. We're not going away. We're just taking a little break so we can edit through all of this content. We had to get this Tommy Chong up because it's too cool. It's really too cool. So thank you so much, gang. We'll CBD you next year.
Give the show a call at 1-833-223-4264. That's 1-833-CBD Gang.
CBD Source Podcast is written, produced, and hosted by Cole Cheney. Graphic design, photo, and artwork by Ryan Weber, Johnny D, Kevin Bierfelt, Steve, and Cole Cheney. Marketing by Penny Spinazzola. Special thanks to our resident CBD guru, Akash Patel, our CBD Source Vape Lounge expert, Anthony Maltese, our C-Body Fitness instructor, Danny, our personal Cannabinoid CBD chef, Ryan Weber, our CBD News co-host and vocal artist, Tasha Miller, and our CBD Gang subreddit mod, social media maven, and wrap-up girl Cass. That's me. Additional thanks to Caitlin, Liz, Ryan, and Kevin for lending your vocal talents. Want to be a guest on the show? Or do you have a great Weed Man van story? Or a story about your craziest experience with the munchies? Call us at 1-833-CBD-GANG. Again, that's 1-833-223-4264. And leave a message. If we like your story, we might play it on the show. Visit us on CBDSourcePodcast.com for all your links to social media, YouTube, and our message board, r/CBD Gang on Reddit. Be sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you next week.
Podcast or its related social media pages and interactions are for informational purposes only. The CBD Source Podcast does not offer medical advice. Its host, Cole Cheney, is not a medical professional. His experiences with cannabidiol and other cannabinoids are his own and may not affect you the same way. Everybody's endocannabinoid system is different. The statements made regarding CBD products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. The efficacy of these products and the testimonials made have not been confirmed by FDA-approved research. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. All information presented here is not meant as a substitute for or alternative to information from healthcare practitioners. Please consult your healthcare professional about potential interactions or other possible complications before using any product. The Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act requires this notice.
What is the worst thing that you've ever eaten, you've ever done for food, to get food while you had the munchies? I'd love to know that.
Oh, that's a great idea. What is the craziest munchies you've ever had? What is the biggest crave you've ever had, and the most disgusting thing you might have resorted to? Like, there's just nothing left in the fridge. You came upon some weed, didn't expect it, and didn't do that shop ahead of time to make sure you had something stocked and ready to go for that munchie crave. What did you end up eating? Because that is an interesting concept. Give us a call, 1-833-CBD Gang. That's 1-833-CBD Gang. The numbers are 223-4264. I want to hear from you.
And if you have ever eaten garbage, or I should say food out of the garbage while having the munchies, or any other crazy story, crazier story, or maybe a story that's not as crazy, just give us a call.
Did you get so high that you ate your dad's 40-year-old Twinkie collection?
No, I did not do that. And that's probably because I don't eat Twinkies. That's probably the only reason.
Did you at home get so high that you found your parents' wedding cake topper in the freezer, thawed that shit out and munched on it because you just had to have that cake?
But if I had one of those spare, just around, I would. I'd be like, sorry, Mom, that's going to just have to be for next anniversary.
Oh, God. I'm defrosting it. That's tough shit, man, and that thing is gone. Did you eat an entire roll of...
cookie dough.
Oh, yeah, just raw cookie dough.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, that's something a lot of people probably had.
If you went to go make brownies and ate half the batter.
Oh, I bet that's something someone's done, for sure.
Or if you are deciding to eat your leftovers that are about a week old and you're not sure if they're still good, give us a call.
Right. Give us a call. What's the number, Tosh?
1-833-CBD-GANG. That's 1-833-CBD-GANG. CBD Gang, we're looking for your weed man van stories. The typical weed man in van has many faces.
Space Cowboy.
Roach.
Filthy Frank.
Many names. Scary Van Dam.
Creepy Casper. Tired Tanner.
And many different types of vans. But everybody has met him, and everybody has a story. What spliff lord turns you to the dank side? We want to hear about your first experience with the wacky weed, the ganja, Miss Mary Jane. You know, trees. Give the show a call at 1-833-CBD-GANG. Tell us your story in 3 minutes or less, and we might play it on the show. Hell, one day we might animate it for our YouTube page. Yowza, it's dank AF in here. Someone's smoking the good stuff in the studio. We'll spray some Ozium and be right back with more of the CBD Source Podcast. The gang's all here. The CBD Gang. Hey gang, want to score free CBD? Sign up for Loyal and Save online or on your phone and use it whenever you shop at CBD Source locations. You'll earn points towards free products and other cool merch. Sign up for free at cbdsourcepodcast.com/loyal. You can download the Loyal and Save app on iTunes or Google Play. That's our loyalty app. Call Help Designed it.
Awesome. Wow. Legends. Here. Top. Legend.
Holy
fucking
shit.
Legendary.
That was the granddaddy.
Who could you interview for a weed man van?
Honestly, fuck everything here. We just get Tommy Chong. Holy crap.
What? Man.
Now
Tommy?
we can start our MjBizCon.
That is a great way to start day one. Oh my God, we got Tommy Chong to do a weed man van story.
That is insane.
Insane. All right, that was fucking insane, man.
We're
Tommy
the only
Chong.
ones they allowed to do this.
I sure hope we got that.
Can you hear anything?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're the only ones they allowed us to do that.
That was fucking nuts, man. We're not just with, we are CBD Source Podcast. How's it going? Yeah, yeah.
That's really cool.
What are you guys? Who are you guys with?
We're Apex Supercritical. And you're is this live?
Yeah. Well, no, it's not live, but I don't want to. If we're talking about it,
Seriously, let me.
the camera was recording too, right?
Yeah.
Is there a mic on it?
Yeah. It's on lip sync and normal. I mean, I can hear him from where I was standing, so.
I think we got it. But we also got pictures of him holding the van like crazy. What do those pictures look like?
Well, I can show you what they look like. But everybody at home or listening needs to go to our Facebook page, Reddit page, YouTube,
Instagram.
whatever the hell we're going to be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of mind baffled that we just met Tommy Chong.
And he told us his Weed Man story. What? Oh my God.
And if you want to see the pictures on how he took pictures with the Weed Man van,
he posed some funny ass shots. And man, we just met the original Weed Man.
yeah, we can go home now. Worthwhile.
Holy shit. That was crazy. Weed Man van story from Tommy Chong on the CBD Source Podcast.
Insane.
MjBizCon. All right, so what do? We go first. We walk the whole place.
Gross Sava.
Oh man, it stretches around. There's even more. There's a whole other section back there. Look, there's a whole other section, dude.
Look, a nice little sitting area so my fat ass can sit down later. This place is insane.
A weed dog just walked by. That dog apparently is nose blind because it just walked right past us. All right. There's so much to take in. It's really another huge, huge show. This is bigger than Champs, like way bigger.
You want to try to tuck those in? Zip ties.
We can get some zip ties tomorrow or something.
Yeah, Walgreens. When we're going back to the dispensary. Kidding.
Pornhub? Was that Pornhub?
Who?
Was that Pornhub?
I don't know. Turn around.
Let's go. It's a weed magician over there.
If you want to go take a table real quick.
I recognize that guy.
Want to get a table where you can figure out the wire situation?
All right. Yeah, let's do it. So we're gonna take a little quick break, get ourselves situated. That was pretty crazy, and we need to get our wires situated before we start. We made it. We're at the edge. We made it all the way from one end to the other without going down any rows, and it took like 20 minutes. Here's the VIP lounge. All right, we're going to check out the VIP lounge at MjBizCon 2019. Cool.
How are you? Are you the press?
Yeah.
What do you guys work?
CBD Source Podcast.
Thank you for listening to the CBD Source Podcast. This is how we CB do's it.